Momo is left exposed in the hot spring, forced to fend off 5 predatory men, until a surprise savior appears, Turbo Granny. Hiding in Momo's backpack all along, she unleashes her powers and destroys the hot spring, scattering the men. The authorities arrive just in time to chase them off, revealing them to be members of the Keto family. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny notes something disturbing. Gigi's apartment reeks of blood. Back at the apartment, Akaran and Gigi receive unexpected visitors, the Keto family themselves. They interrogate the boys, and while Akaran narrowly avoids suspicion by guessing Gigi's favorite sports team, thanks to a wall poster, Gigi slips up. When he denies having had a girl over, despite Momo clearly having visited, the Keto matriarch grows furious. Elsewhere, Momo and Turbo Granny head to the shrine of the giant snake. Local legend says a divine beast sleeps in the volcano, once fed human sacrifices to prevent eruptions. Though there hasn't been one in 200 years, the tale was dismissed as superstition. When Momo returns to Gigi's place, she's stunned to find the entire Keto family waiting. With Akaran and Gigi unconscious on the floor, she tries to fight them off, but she's outnumbered. During a pause, the Keto matriarch reveals their true intentions. Momo has disrupted their sacred festival, and for generations, they've protected this land by making sacrifices to the Great Serpent. The creepy room discovered last season? It's the sacrificial site. The Keto family has lured and sacrificed victims here for years, including Gigi's family. Now, Momo is next. As the ground beneath her turns to quicksand, Gigi and Akaran spring into action. But they all end up falling into the literal belly of the beast. Gigi lands directly on the body of the great serpent, which awakens with a monstrous roar. The legend is true, sort of. It's not a godly snake, but a massive, man-eating earthworm, just like the ones Akaran used to read about in magazines. The Keto family begins a ritual chant, but it backfires spectacularly. The worm, now fully awakened, devours them with ease. Akaran, overwhelmed by rage, hisses and snarls, teetering on the edge of madness. As a massive man-eating worm slithers through the house, Gigi desperately tries to snap him out of it. When Akaran yells, "Just let me die already!" it hits Gigi hard. Those were the same words his parents said before attempting suicide. While Gigi manages to keep Akaran from giving up, Turbo Granny does the same for Momo, rescuing her from despair. The source of all this chaos? The worm. It emits psychic waves that drive humans to kill themselves, a power it's been using for years. Luckily, Gigi is immune. Grabbing both Momo and Akaran, he sprints to safety, trying to outrun the relentless creature. Just as things seem hopeless, a mysterious, skeletal figure appears before the worm. Turbo Granny yells for everyone to avert their eyes. This being is the evil eye. Its very gaze can drive people insane, but in this case, its presence cancels out the worm's psychic influence. With clarity restored, Akaran powers up and charges the worm, slicing off its head, which instantly regrows, knocking himself out in the process. As the group escapes, Gigi wonders about the evil eye's origin. The entity responds by floating toward him and locking eyes, triggering a haunting vision. Long ago, the evil eye was a weak, lonely child offered as a human sacrifice to the volcano. Bound to a post and left to die, his spirit lingered at the shrine. Over the centuries, he watched the Keto family lure other victims to the same fate. As more families perished, their children left behind, the boy's spirit turned bitter and vengeful. Eventually, his soul fused with another sacrificed child, transforming into the wrathful yokai known as the Evil Eye. Now, Gigi sees the truth. This spirit has only ever known suffering. Despite Turbo Granny's warnings, Gigi believes the Evil Eye has been protecting him all along, shielding him from the worm's psychic control. Determined to help, he frees the trapped soul from its hidden chamber. But just as they reach the heart of the house, the worm attacks again. A burst of electricity stuns everyone, followed by a strange orange, glue-like substance that restrains them. Seizing the opportunity, the Evil Eye possesses Gigi, partially encouraged by Gigi's innocent childhood promise to play with him. Empowered by yokai energy and his own spiritual potential, Gigi unleashes devastating power and drives the worm away. Turbo Granny explains that Gigi possesses immense spiritual energy and, paired with his athleticism, makes the ideal vessel for the evil eye. But this new Gigi is no longer the same person. They don't know whose side he's on. Just as he's about to attack Momo, a fully recovered and transformed Ocarina arrives, ready to turn the tide of battle. Ocarina and Momo team up to battle Gigi's overwhelming power. As they spiral up a flight of stairs, they reach the cavern where the remnants of the Mongolian death worm are spewing toxic fumes into the air. Ocarina explains that these worms weaken their prey with electric shocks and deadly venom. The cavern's depth makes escape nearly impossible, and with no sunlight, the worm has the upper hand, since it's vulnerable to UV rays. Ocarina urges Momo to escape and launches her upward using a chair as a springboard. He stays behind to confront Gigi, vowing not to hurt him, though Gigi clearly intends to kill. The two clash in the dark, abandoned basement. But the worm's poison is slowly sapping their strength. Realizing this, Gigi traps Ocarina in a cursed house. Protected from the toxin but confined, Ocarina's physical prowess becomes useless against Gigi's supernatural abilities. Gigi mocks him, but this only fuels Ocarina's resolve. Summoning his speed and strength, he lands a powerful uppercut and shatters the cursed house. Both fighters are drained, reverting to their human forms. Ocarina is first to recover. He rushes to free Turbo Granny, who's stuck in the worm's sticky resin, only to trip and get caught himself. Meanwhile, Momo sets the house ablaze. Her plan? Force the worm to surface, where it'll be exposed to sunlight. Fire hoses from the emergency response help douse the flames and flood the ground, driving the worm upward. However, her actions are mistaken for arson, and authorities move to arrest her. Just as she's being hauled into a police car, the ground begins to quake. The Mongolian death worm erupts to the surface, only to be obliterated shortly after. To everyone's shock, the worm regurgitates the entire Keto family, alive but furious. Before anyone can react, the volcano begins to rumble. Momo watches in horror as it suddenly erupts, sending up a massive plume of smoke laced with crackling electricity. Ash drifts through the air as Naki and the Keto family grow furious. With the death worm destroyed, they claim the volcano is no longer held in check, blaming Momo for dooming them all. Momo, rejecting their superstition, argues that the so-called dragon rising to heaven is actually a geyser. Historically mistaken as a bad omen, it likely gave rise to the serpent legend, twisted over generations into religious dogma. Determined to stop the eruption, Momo hurls the serpent's corpse toward the geyser. Remembering how the creature reacted to water, she uses it like a giant fire hose, aiming its mouth at the volcano in an attempt to cool the lava flow. The Keto family charges at her, but just in time, temple priest Manjiro arrives to defend Momo. He previously explained the serpent's legend and now reveals that Seiko, Momo's grandmother, is his master. Manjiro holds off the Ketos, buying time for Gigi to reappear. Unfortunately, Gigi is still in a berserk state, attacking anything in sight. Just as he's about to strike Momo, he's saved by a surprise ally, the mantis shrimp. Previously helped by Momo during the alien incident, the mantis shrimp returns with Taro and Seiko to repay the favor. Seiko uses her powerful medium abilities to support the group, while Taro disintegrates and reforms into a cocoon, restraining Gigi mid-attack. With the Ketos neutralized, the mantis shrimp and his son, piloting a UFO and singing joyfully, work together to drag the serpent's body across the lava, cooling the volcano and stopping the eruption. Back at the house, Momo searches for Ocarina, fearing the lava has consumed him. But at the last second, the mantis shrimp's UFO lifts him to safety. He survived thanks to the slime, which cocooned and protected him from the serpent's corrosive slime. Reunited, Momo runs to Ocarina. After a clumsy stumble, she embraces him and breaks into tears, relieved he's still alive. Seiko takes the lead as the group attempts a ritual to exorcise the evil eye from Gigi, but despite their efforts, and Taro struggling to keep the spirit restrained, nothing works. Each time they open Taro's cocoon to check, Gigi remains possessed and raging. Seiko and Manjiro consider using a Hayashi ritual for a full exorcism, but it's risky. Gigi's spiritual power is so immense that any attempt could leave lasting effects. With the ritual stalling, the group gathers for dinner and light banter. Mantis Shrimp hilariously reveals he didn't return just to help. He came back because the cow gifted to him last season didn't produce milk. And without milk, his son Chiquitita can't survive. Meanwhile, an unexpected discovery brings some hope. Hot liquids or food temporarily revert Gigi to his normal self, while cold ones trigger the evil eye's return. Turbo Granny warns, though, this is a short-term fix. The evil eye is still growing, like a newborn spirit, and Gigi remains the perfect vessel. Eventually, the spirit will be too powerful to contain, especially in something as basic as taro. Seiko instructs Gigi not to leave Kamigo City until they can fully exorcise him. Until then, everyone must carry thermoses of hot liquid at all times to keep Gigi stable. Later, during a quiet moment, Momo and Akarin share a tender touch, almost holding hands, during a car ride. The moment is broken when Gigi and Taro begin bickering again. Meanwhile, Naki Kito, the matriarch of the Kito family, remains at large. While the rest of the Kitos are in custody, she's evaded arrest and now roams the forest. Driven by rage, she transforms into a grotesque monster, revealing this isn't even her final form. She's hell-bent on revenge against Momo and Akarin. Back at the house, Seiko feels confident and finally releases Gigi from the Taro cocoon. Everything seems under control, until a single drop of soy sauce lands on Gigi's finger. Instantly, Gigi transforms, and the entire house explodes. The group quickly douses Gigi with hot water, keeping the evil eye at bay, but they can't ignore its growing strength. Just then, a visual K-band named Hayashi arrives, revealed to be the exorcist Seiko had summoned. Seiko allows them to set up their equipment, and together they attempt to drive out the evil eye through music. Momo, Akarin, and Eira watch in awe as the performance rattles the spirit. The music agitates the evil eye so deeply that Gigi tearfully begs them not to kill him. Touched by his sincerity, Seiko halts the exorcism and makes a bold decision. Rather than banishing the evil eye, she welcomes it into their foster family. Her choice shocks everyone, but Momo, Akarin, and Eira ultimately resolve to grow stronger, determined to support Gigi and help him manage his overwhelming spiritual powers. That night, the group stays in Seiko's damaged house. Akarin and Gigi bond over their shared struggle of controlling their powers, while the Ai's family does their best to care for them. By morning, Momo, Akarin, and Eira head off to school, while Gigi continues his training under Seiko's guidance. Wanting to help with the house's restoration, Momo takes on a part-time job. To her embarrassment, Akarin later discovers her working at a maid cafe, dragged there by Miko and Yuko, who can't resist teasing her about it. Miko and Yuko can't resist teasing Momo as she awkwardly serves drinks at the maid cafe, her face burning red, especially with a flustered Akarin watching. She pushes through the embarrassment until her shift ends, where Akarin quietly waits for her outside. Meanwhile, Gigi makes steady progress in controlling the evil eye, which brings Seiko a measure of relief. But when Momo and Akarin return home, disaster strikes. Gigi accidentally bumps into Eira, spilling her cold drink all over him. The sudden chill triggers the evil eye, who immediately takes over and violently strangles Momo. She manages to spew hot water to weaken him, giving Gigi the chance to wrestle back control. Horrified by what the evil eye just did, Gigi begins to distance himself from Akarin, burdened with guilt. Seiko and Manjiro discuss the situation with heavy concern. Manjiro reluctantly suggests calling Hayashi again for another exorcism. Meanwhile, Akarin blames himself for failing to protect Momo and throws himself into training. Turbo Granny notices and drags him to the school for practice, with Eira tagging along. The trio decides to use the music room to sharpen their coordination, working on rhythm and timing to prepare for tougher battles. But just as they begin, they're ambushed by a group of eerie doppelganger composers, led by none other than Ludwig van Beethoven, who pull them into their strange, musical realm. The battle with the composers begins as Akarin and Eira are struck by waves of sound, tight, relentless musical attacks that leave them overwhelmed and unable to keep up. Frustrated, Turbo Granny pushes Ocarin to sharpen his rhythm, urging him to sync his movements with the beat. Finding his flow, Ocarin times his strikes in harmony with Hayashi's music, and suddenly the tide shifts. With their coordination improving, Ocarin and Eira start landing blows, forcing Beethoven to escalate. He unleashes his Ninth Symphony, summoning colossal vocalists and an entire phantom audience to corner them. But Ocarin and Eira fight back together, breaking through the wall of sound. In the heat of battle, Ocarin unlocks his full potential, transforming into his complete yokai form. With their victory, the group is freed from the composer's strange realm. Ocarin thanks both Eira and Turbo Granny for pushing him, recognizing how much their support helped him grow. Back at Seiko's house, Manjiro reveals he has already called Hayashi to assist with Gigi's exorcism, worried the evil eye will become too dangerous. Momo is left in disbelief at his decision. Meanwhile, Ocarin, Eira, and Turbo Granny return home. Ocarin challenges Evil Eye to a duel. Seeing Ocarin's resolve, Gigi willingly allows the spirit to possess him, and the battle begins. Ocarin matches Evil Eye blow for blow, their clash tearing Seiko's house apart. Though Evil Eye demands the fight continue, Ocarin refuses and instead offers a compromise. They'll duel once a week, but only if Evil Eye swears not to harm innocent people. Begrudgingly, Evil Eye accepts. When Gigi regains consciousness, the group parts ways, Gigi reuniting with his now-recovered parents, while Ocarin and Eira stay behind with Piniwini to help Momo and Seiko rebuild the house using nanoskin. Amid the repairs, Momo and Ocarin reflect on how the house has become more than just a home. It's a place of belonging for all their new bonds. Later, Gigi tells Momo that Evil Eye has been behaving ever since Ocarin's deal, but Momo quickly notices the spirit mischievously taking control on their way to school. Forced to keep his possession a secret, Momo reluctantly takes responsibility for watching over Evil Eye. Meanwhile, Miko and Nemo mention rumors of a floating kintama spotted at a housing complex, piquing Momo's curiosity. Elsewhere at school, Ocarin is approached by his classmate, Kinta Sakata. In a flashback, Kinta remembers quietly observing Ocarin at school, including the moment he accidentally kissed Momo. Back in the present, Kinta approaches Ocarin, curious about how someone so seemingly ordinary managed to befriend both Momo and Eira. Their conversation is cut short when Momo bursts into the classroom to tell Ocarin about the Kintama sighting, leaving Kinta bewildered. The situation escalates when class representative Rin Sawaki, mistaking Momo for Ocarin's bully, politely asks her to leave on his behalf. This only deepens Kinta's misunderstanding, making him believe Ocarin is actually popular with girls. After school, Momo and Ocarin head to the housing complex, with Kinta secretly tailing them. The duo quickly notices his presence, but before they can react, all three are suddenly dragged into a strange realm by the Kintama. Inside, Ocarin explains to Momo that the Kintama has a hidden physical form. Together, they also manage to rescue Kinta, who uses his sci-fi knowledge to point out that the creature is camouflaging itself. Working as a team, the trio corners the Kintama and defeats it, only for the camouflage to fall away, revealing its true identity, a kaiju. To their shock, the monster begins to grow even larger. Momo, Ocarin, and Kinta flee in terror as the kaiju wreaks havoc, with Eira and Gigi soon caught in the chaos as well. The group bands together to fight back, but Momo orders Gigi to escort Kinta to safety. While Momo manages to incapacitate the kaiju, Eira charges in to deliver the finishing blow, only for the creature to camouflage itself, tricking her and striking her down. Ocarin pushes his powers to the limit to rescue Eira, but the effort leaves him drained. He and Momo retreat to Seiko's house, while Gigi and Kinta continue their desperate run back. During the escape, a drop of Kinta's sweat lands on Gigi, triggering Evil Eye's possession and throwing Kinta into even more confusion. Back at the house, the group hesitates to rely on Evil Eye for help. Ocarin instead suggests using the nanoskin to create a weapon against the kaiju, though he struggles to picture one clearly. To everyone's surprise, Kinta steps forward, volunteers to take over, and envisions a massive countermeasure, transforming the house into a towering mecha in the shape of a Buddha. As the colossal machine comes to life, Momo urgently asks Kinta how they're supposed to control it, just as the kaiju looms closer. The group struggles to control the mecha, their lack of coordination leaving them wide open as the kaiju pummels them with ease. Just when it seems hopeless, Kinta, long alienated by his classmates for his obsession with sci-fi and mecha, realizes this is his chance to finally live out his dream. Channeling his determination, he takes full control of the machine, matching the kaiju blow for blow. With Momo and Eira lending their support, Kinta drives the mecha to victory, defeating the kaiju and freeing the group from its strange realm. Their triumph, however, comes at a cost. The entire battle has been witnessed by the public. The mecha soon returns to Seiko's property and reverts back into the house, while Akaran and a recovered Gigi, who were ejected mid-fight, haul the shrunken kaiju inside. The victory celebration doesn't last long. Momo and Eira reel from the nauseating mecha experience, while Kinta, energized, offers his help in the group's future battles. Curiosity soon turns to shock when the boys realize the kaiju was actually a suit, worn by a humanoid girl. She suddenly notices Akaran, rushes over, and plants a kiss on him, leaving everyone stunned. Behind them, the house explodes as Momo looks on in disbelief. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.